All right, here we are in the Badger Rock Kitchen for the next in our Black History Month virtual workshop series. We're super happy to be in this kitchen with Yusuf today. Yusuf, thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me, Sarah. Super excited to be here. Badger Rock has been a home and a launch pad for a lot of us Black farmers and culinarians over the years, so I'm happy to be back and celebrating Black History Month with y'all. I am from Madison, Wisconsin. Won't go too much into me. I'm just going to share with you a recipe that is near and dear to my heart, which is sauteed collard greens. So we started our collards with a little bit of bacon that's been cubed, and we're sauteing it to render the fat. I have already diced some onion and some garlic here, and these will go into our saute once the bacon has rendered and released its goodness into the pan.
It smells so good in here. You all are missing out. Come on over.
Come on over. There will be some
Yes.
tastes and samples here shortly. So we're coming hot off of the wheels of Collard Fest on the Collard Kickoff on Saturday, which we had at Old Brick Botanical Gardens, and it was a success. Sold out crowd. We did a film screening of Farming While Black, talking about Soul Fire Farms out on the East Coast there, and got to hear from a panel of Black farmers, including myself. Yeah, it was a great time. And in the spirit, 2025 is the year of collard green, so we are celebrating that by highlighting this glorious, glorious dish and vegetable. Let me find a good one. We've been soaking our collard greens in water here. Isn't that beautiful?
Super beautiful.
And it's always good to give your collards a good rinse, 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 as Dr. Fabu will say. And we are going to prep those now as our bacon continues to render.
So Dr. Fabu wrote a book called Soul Food We Eat to Remember.
Yes.
That she talked about and shared some poetry from at the Collard Fest too. It was really beautiful. Yusuf, do you want to share a little bit about TradeRoots too? For
Sure.
people who might not know about it?
So TradeRoots started in 2018 with Devin Hamilton and Candy Flowers as a means to get funding to go to Africa to retrace our roots. And we did pop-ups here at Badger Rock. We did pop-ups. We did a couple weddings to raise the funding. And then in 2019, we were able to go to West Africa, Benin, and Togo with Michael Twitty. So that was a life-changing experience for me, being able to reconnect with my ancestors in that way. And when I came back to Madison, I continued the work of TradeRoots. Devin and Candy moved on. Devin is out in Los Angeles. He's got a organization called Grilling for the People, and he's a chef at a restaurant out there. And yeah, so TradeRoots basically is a catering and urban agriculture operation, and we plant urban farms in Madison area and such. Some of them are free to pick yourself gardens. Others are for vegetables that I use in pop-ups. But yeah, TradeRoots is just a mean to connect people with their roots.
If you all go back a couple years on our videos on the Badger Rock Neighborhood Facebook page, you'll see too a tour that we did with Yusuf out when he was growing. I think it was the first year of TradeRoots at Eagle Heights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eagle Heights was my first venture. I need a bowl. Sorry.
Here,
I'll use this. Eagle Heights was my first foray into farming and served as a little platform for me to learn a little bit. And then I moved out to Troy Farms, and continued growing. And that's where I primarily am growing some squash and some collard greens. But now my bacon is rendered. I am removing it from the pan.
Yum, smells so good. So Yusuf is part of the Troy Farm Collaborative up there on the north side too. If y'all have been to Troy Farm, that's where Yusuf's talking about.
Yeah, and if you haven't been to Troy Farm, come out and see us.
Yes, check it out.
We'll be doing some programming this year as well. We'll have to see. I want to switch it up a little bit and do some whole animal butchery, just because I think that some of the programming could be a little bit more useful for people that might find themselves in a survival situation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which we may be in this year. Who knows? But we'll be prepared, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm adding onions to the bacon fat. Smells incredible. We're going to saute these onions for a couple minutes, and then we'll add our garlic to that. I'm going to strip these collards off the stems. If you ever run into a recipe that tells you to remove the stems and to discard the stems, discard that recipe, because we are going to use these stems because they have a lot of flavor and nutrition. You just have to prepare them a little bit differently. So to get them to cook the same time frame as the rest of our vegetables, we are going to slice them very thin.
And Yusuf made a really delicious recipe for the Collard Fest too. You want to share about what was in that one?
So we had, for the Collard Fest, I made some West African curry collard greens with pork belly also. They had coconut milk, some peppers, cashew butter, and some other traditional West African spices, grains of paradise, etc. And yeah, that was a really fun play. I made the greens vegan for Phil from Reap, but that will be the last vegan dish Yusuf makes in 2025 because, yeah, it's not a real thing. You guys would not survive the apocalypse. There's no blenders in the post-apocalyptic time. So, I chopped collards, added them to our stems and our onions. We'll put our garlic in there. Now this is a time where people traditionally might add stock, but we're going to saute these collards with the onions. And we're not going to add stock. We're just going to use the bacon fat to season the collards, the onions, and That garlic's going to come through there too. As you know, or you may be aware, I've added no seasoning up to this point.
And you don't have to cook collards for days, you know? This is a
very simple, very fast recipe.
What are some of your other favorite things you like to cook, Yusuf?
Oh, goodness.
That's probably a big question.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much like to cook everything. Seasonally, obviously. But I think pork is my favorite thing to cook. Just because it's a little controversial. And I want people to come see me and my food. If I want to come to your house, I'll come to your house. But when you come see me, you're probably going to get some pork. And in 2025, I'm definitely washing all my vegetables with bacon fat, just to discourage people from bringing their opinions into my kitchen. Everybody has a story to tell. Find the people that want to tell that story for the vegans. I'm telling stories for meat eaters and going to support our meat producers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time to be a pork eater.
It looks so good. This kitchen is smelling awesome.
Yeah, we're almost there. I'm going to add a little bit of one of my favorite seasonings. A little slap your mama.
Mm-hmm.
This is a classic soul food seasoning.
What's in it? Do you know?
It's a secret. Yep.
Secret
it's a
recipe.
Secret. So it says it's just salt, black pepper, red pepper, granulated garlic. That's it.
Okay.
I guess it's not that secret.
Yeah, there it is.
I feel like there's something else in there because you can do a lot of different combinations of those ingredients and not come up with the same result.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to add a little bit of pork back to this wonderful, wonderful pan. And I'm going to add a tiny touch of soy sauce just because I love soy sauce. That'll add a little more umami.
Yum. Well, Yusuf, what are some ways people can support you in your work or follow what you're doing in the community?
That's a good question. Buy tickets to the 7 Acre Dinner coming up. If you're in, that's going to be on March 4th. If you're in northern Michigan, on the 23rd of February, I'll be doing a pop-up. And that would be another good opportunity to support. Otherwise, follow me on social media, Chef Yusuf B on Instagram.
We'll pop his those links in the comments too, so y'all can click on them and check it out. Yusuf is all over the place doing all the things. So.
I appreciate you. Do we got a plate?
No.
All right. We're going to track down a plate real quick for you folks. We can put this on there and show you what it looks like. Oh, we got a little one.
I know. I've never seen you cook without plating it up. We should have had that ahead of time.
It's all good. If I was at home, I'd eat right out of the skillet to save a plate.
Even better. Save a dish. So simple and so beautiful and smells so delicious.
There you go. Boom. Grab a spoon. All right, I'm gonna dig into this.
Try it.
Delicious.
Turned out pretty good. I can tell just by the smell of it. Oh my
It's
gosh.
outstanding. It's hot. It's fantastic. Cheers.
All right, y'all, try it at home.
All right.
Easy, fast. Chef Yusuf B. showing us how it's done with the collard greens.
Boom.
Thank you, Yusuf, and thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see you next time.